Well, hello guys, how are you doing? My name is Sulu. I'm a teacher of English at the College of International Service and Management. And today's master class is dedicated to the ways of improving your English speaking skills. Speaking is often the hardest of the four language skills. It's one thing listening and understanding, or even reading and writing. But it's another talking to a native speaker and not getting all flustered and experiencing brain shutdown. But with the right tricks and constant diligence, we can get over the learning curve with ease. Record yourself. When you're by yourself, you have no reason to be nervous. You can let your brain flow freely, so record yourself now. Your English is going to be at its best. Find a book on a tape or a clip online that you can mimic. Does your English sound the same? Or record yourself reading from a book. You'll be able to actually hear yourself, which we surprisingly have trouble with in real time, and be able to pinpoint the mistakes in your English and where you slow down and have trouble. Then re-record it and see how you've improved. Next tip is read aloud. If your hands are full or you don't have any recording device, simply read aloud. Ideally, every day for at least 15 or 20 minutes. You'll get used to speaking for longer periods of time, and forming long sentences won't faze you. And you'll run into words you can add to your vocabulary. It's best to choose books with lots of dialogue. The language is generally more real and a bit simpler. After all, dialogue is conversation. Being able to read poetry is great, but conversations are a much more practical skill, you know. Listen to MP3s, podcasts, and the news. We live in such digital age, even if you think you don't have any native speakers at your disposal, you actually do. Scientific American, CBC, BBC, and Australia's ABC Radio are great MP3s to get started with. But there is also a million podcasts out there and lots of news stations too. And the best part is that these people generally speak clearly and have pretty generic accents. And other ones, you'll have interesting things to talk about in English. You will be up on all the news, even if you're just repeating what you've heard. Not like anyone will know. You're improving your English by expanding your knowledge. Two birds with one stone, really. Listen to music too. Alright, so it's not as good as listening to spoken news, podcasts, etc., but it's good. If you can concentrate on one song a day or so, even better. Just make sure you actively try to understand it. Search for the lyrics and sing along as I do. It's best to stick to ballads, songs that go a bit more slowly. Pick one a day until you have it mostly memorized and understand what the words actually mean. It's a great way to learn idioms and slang too. Watch TV and movies. An integral part of speaking is hearing and listening. Because of this, the easiest way to involve yourself in a conversation without actually having one is to watch English TV or movies. If you absolutely have to, turn the subtitles on, but try to resist. Movies are great because you watch them over and over. The more you watch them, the more things you will pick up. TV is good though too, because you develop relationships with the characters, and you grow accustomed to how they talk and quirks of their speech. The next tip is narrate your world. As you go about your day-to-day, talk to yourself. What are you doing? What are you feeling? What do you see, taste, smell, hear? What are you touching? What are you thinking? Right now, you're sitting in a chair, probably. Maybe you're listening to music or have the TV on in the background. The possibilities are limitless. Think the future and the past too. What are you going to do next? What did you just do? You gotta get to thinking in English consistently to truly get better. The more you think in English, the faster it will come out. The next tip is mimic the rhythm. Every language has a musicality about it. You can have absolutely perfect grammar, and if you don't have the rhythm down, you won't have that native sound. So, whether you're talking to English speakers or you're watching on TV, look for emphasis, intonation, and emotion. How well can you mimic it? In every sentence, there are parts that are longer, louder, and said at a higher pitch. In the phrase rock and roll, saying rock and roll sounds very strange, but rock and roll sounds a lot more natural. This is the icing on the English cake. By the way, do not overthink it. If you do get in the presence of an English speaker, it's so easy to just have your mind freeze up, your body freeze up, and have every single word of English you know escape you. You end up stuttering if you can't get anything out at all, and leave feeling terrible, never wanting to speak English again. Rest assured, it's not just you. This happens to all of us, all. The only way to avoid it is just to realize that it's not that big deal, it will end shortly, and no one's going to judge you. English is becoming so prominent all over the world that even native speakers are used to hearing all different levels. You won't say anything that they haven't heard before. The last and the most important tip is be patient. Above all else, you need to be patient. Learning a language is a process that can take years. If you get frustrated with yourself, you risk quitting. That will face the worst results of all. So don't be so hard on yourself. It will come, you gotta trust. The easiest way not to get confused with all of this is to have a good way to check your progress. That means keeping the same notebook, filling it up, rewatching those shows that you have mastered now, and once in a while revisiting things that used to be difficult. The reminder of how awesome you're getting will be quite the boost. So guys, I really hope that these tips would help you to improve your English speaking skills. Thank you for your attention.